Today we read Psalm 19. This is one of the first psalms that I knew well, partly because it's lovely and partly because it's often quoted. The final verse is often used as a prayer before preaching from the pulpit by many priests, asking that the words spoken and the responses in our thoughts will be acceptable to God. In the psalm, it's not about a 10-minute talk, or even a longer one. It's about the whole of life, all our spoken words and all our unspoken thoughts. Put like that, it's a standard of behaviour worthy of Jesus' teaching in the Sermon on the Mount, a very demanding level indeed. But the lovely part is the beginning of the psalm. The heavens are telling the glory of God. You may know Haydn's choral work, The Creation, which sets these words beautifully. Even as a teenager, I loved the idea that the created world around us reflects God's glory, praises God through its very existence, through just doing its thing, as it were. Sky, sun, moon, stars, the cycle of day and night, the cycle of the seasons. Without human speech, all these give witness to the glory of God. Some people find God more in nature than in church, and I have some sympathy for that. It's not that nature is God, of course, that would be idolatry, but it speaks to us of God, of the character of God, God's power, God's beauty and loveliness, God's provision through the bounty and the balance of nature, where we don't interfere with it, that is. The psalmist moves from contemplating the world around to reflecting on the beauty and order of God's law without a moment's hesitation or change in theme. He sees complete continuity between them, even that one flows from the other, or that one is seen through the prism of the other. But what is best is clear. Sweeter also are they, the commandments of the Lord, than honey. More to be desired than gold, much fine gold. Honey teaches us about sweetness, but it's a shadow of the sweetness of God. Gold teaches us about value, but its value pales before the glory of God. Lest this should sound over-pious to you, let's put it another way. The psalmist says that our deepest desires and longings, our highest and noblest thoughts, our very best potential is fulfilled only in God, taken up and filled and satisfied like a hearty meal in God and nowhere else. No one else can fulfill those deepest longings and yearnings. Scripture often uses the image of a feast or banquet to express something of living in the presence of God. Food, lots of it, and jolly good food too, and an open invitation to come and tuck in. What a vision for a people who lived hand to mouth and who probably knew real hunger. Spiritual needs, spiritual hunger and thirst, satisfied, needs we perhaps could hardly express, or ones we barely realise that we are lacking. We are in the season of Epiphany, and it's about revelation, showing. The world of nature around us shows us the glory of God. When we turn to that source of plentiful nourishment which we call God, we discover, we are shown, needs we hardly thought we had, but only for them to be fulfilled, amply provided for. The ocean of God's love is infinite. There is always enough for us, and much, much more.